For the second essay, test takers are asked to choose one of two topics that present a specific observation, position, or theme. Depending on the topic chosen, test takers choose any work by a particular author to appropriately support the claim, or they're going to select works from a designated list provided. Test takers should plan to spend 50 to 55 minutes on this essay. So there are a couple things you should know about the second essay. Number one, it is not nearly as predictable as the persuasive analysis of a poem because we know exactly what that essay entails, don't we? So this one is a little different because it's kind of the Wild West. We don't know what they're going to give you as a topic, and they don't know if the topic that you pick is going to be attached to a list of readings that you are presumed to know, or if you'll be able to relate the topic to any work that you know very well in your mind. Now, so I'm going to give you a couple of options as far as how you should choose. Okay, option one is you choose the topic you know most about. You want to choose the topic you know most about because you will be able to speak on it a lot well. And if you can also choose the work you know most about, that's a bonus as well, right? That's option one. You want to be able to speak very intelligently on a topic that you know about, whether it be a point of criticism or a particular element of a passage of literature. It could be theme, it could be anything. But you want to choose the topic you know most about, and then if they give you an option in the topic to apply any particular work of your choosing, then you want to choose the work that you know most about, the novel or the poem or the play or essay that you feel the most comfortable with describing because you know the plot inside and out, you know the characters, you know the action, you can even identify themes, bigger picture stuff like that. So that's the ideal, right, situation where you have a topic you're comfortable with and you can choose any work that relates to it because then you can choose something you're super comfortable because you know. Option two is you choose the topic you know most about. You choose the topic you know most about because you can talk about it even if you don't know the works as well. Because what if the topic is attached to a list of works that you kind of know, but you don't know, but you're sure that you know the topic? I mean, you could speak on the observation, you could speak on the criticism, you could speak on the theme, and you can even talk about other works that exemplify the topic. So if that's the situation where you're presented with a topic you feel confident in, but the list you don't feel great about, but you know, I mean, you have to at least know plot points, characters, time period even. That's why it's so super important to study all of those summaries and plot points and characters, because if you're presented with 4 different novels and you don't even have a clue what they're even about, you'll really be struggling to even connect them to a topic that you know you're comfortable with. So even a light familiarity with some of the things can be applied to a topic that you feel confident in because you may be able to stretch it out. Option 2 is you choose the works on the list. That you know the most about, even if you don't know the topic. Because if you know the works very well, like totally comfortable with the plot, the characters, the action, the sequence of events, then you can speak about them very intelligently, especially if you know at least 3 out of 4 on the list. And the topic, even if you're not so familiar with the topic, because you know the works really well, you can find a way to inject your knowledge of the works by lining them up together with the topic and creating a thread of consistency between the theme in this work, and this work, and this work, and you'll be able to work around it because you know the works so well, even if you don't know the topic that's well. But that's why it's super important to study this, because the essay is a wild card. And if it's required, you can't get out of it. You will need the essay to get the college credit that you're looking for. You have to find out from the institution if these essays are necessary. And if they are, you'll have to pay ahead of time as a fee to do them, because there's an extra fee for grading these because the institution grades them. So you want to ensure that before you sign up for the exam, for the college that you want to gain credit at, if you need to do these essays. And in preparing for the essay, you need to study the lectures, the readings, the study guide, the textbooks, all of the things that are provided in this course, because it will just make you super, super confident. And if you're confident going into the exam, you're going to be relaxed. And this stuff is not going to stress you out. The poem is not going to stress you out, and you will feel like a king or a queen. So this is how I suggest you strategize for picking the topic for the second essay, because you will have an option for that one. In the next unit, we'll talk about how to write it.